Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live. Inside. Where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can beat one of those things!
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982, of course directed by him and starring Kurt Russell. And it tells the story of a group of American researchers in Antarctica who encounter The Thing, a parasitic extraterrestrial life form that assimilates and then imitates other organisms. The group is overcome by paranoia and conflict as they learn that they can no longer trust each other and that any one of them could be The Thing. So, yeah, this is another one of those, kind of well-known horror movies that people would have assumed I've seen before, quite a few years ago, but ashamed to say I hadn't seen it until just last night, which is kind of embarrassing for me. But yeah, it was about time, to say the least. So I checked it out last night. And I guess I really wish I would have watched it years ago, because I'm going to say right off the bat, this is easily one of the very best horror films of the 80s now, no question about it. And now when people hear the name John Carpenter, of course they automatically think, Halloween 1978, which is good. But I'd go as far to say, it's hard to compare. I say it's one of the best horror films of the 80s, and I think it is. But it's still difficult to compare this to like a slasher type of horror movie. They're just different. But I'd go as far to say that there's more kind of put into this one. There's more to this one, in a certain extent. Excuse me. But we don't need to compare the whole video, but let me just say I really like this movie. I haven't seen as much of Kurt Russell as I probably should have over the years either. Of course, a lot of people know him now as Star-Lord's father, from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But he's done tons of other action films and dramas over the decades and stuff like that. And I think he is pretty good here for sure. And the whole cast is pretty much on point throughout the whole film. Now, this is also another one of those horror movies, which, pretty much got panned or, just trashed when it came out originally. But over the years, it's developed a massive, kind of following, and it's now has a pretty good, appreciation from any, like, horror fan, really. So it's interesting how those things happen sometimes. It's happened with a number of films I'm into. Like, I know this is not on the same scale, I admit that. But even, like, another favorite of mine, like Ginger Snaps, I know even to this day it's still kind of under the radar. But, it really didn't get, like, much at all when it came out in, 2000. But I know we're over the past few years, and, it's developed a definite, cult following for sure. Again, not to the same extent as this one, but, this just happens with, not just horror movies, but any movies, and this is definitely one of them that's done that in a big way. So I talked to you about the premise, or I read to you the premise, and, don't get me wrong, this is a very, violent horror movie. There's definitely a good amount of gore and, graphic, moments. Which I enjoyed. I'm not necessarily like a gore hound. That's not why I like horror movies. Like, what I most look for in a horror movie is just kind of the atmosphere it gives off, like the feeling, the suspense it can create, the danger it can make come off the screen. But still, violence definitely helps. And it definitely succeeds there, from the, pretty graphic, transformations, or when we see, the parasitic organism or whatever it is, kind of come out, it looks really good, and all the death scenes are pretty good. So there's plenty of that to satisfy, but that's definitely not, what drives this movie. Drives this movie is the characters, but it's also mainly kind of the situation they're in. And, like the description said, it's kind of the paranoia of it all, and they basically, start turning on each other, and, just, thinking twice about what everyone else is doing. Like, oh, why'd this guy go off here? Where's this guy been? He's been gone a while, but now he's back. So is he the thing now? And it does that really well, and it feels like a very realistic sort of, like little character study of, building fear and paranoia and stuff like that. And John Carpenter and the whole, everyone who worked on the film did that really well. That's definitely the best part of it. In fact, my favorite scene is when, they're blood testing everyone. Kurt Russell, he's holding this little, tray type thing. And another guy's going around, cutting, every person's hand, get a sample of their blood. Then Kurt Russell, puts a torch to it. Nothing happens, obviously human, but if there's some kind of reaction or it does something a little odd, obviously that person isn't, infected or something like that. So you just see everyone looking at each other, and it's just a great amount of just tenseness in the whole room. And the scenarios like that are definitely the best part of the movie. But luckily it doesn't lose itself either when there is kind of more like horror action stuff going down, which does happen. They discover that the thing has a weakness, for fire, so they're, they're using a flamethrower a lot. And, like all the, big climactic scenes are really nicely done too. Now, if you like dogs and, wolves and, huskies and stuff like that, it's probably not the movie for you. I love animals. I, love all dogs especially. So I always kind of wince or something when I see something happen to a dog in a movie. But, I know they're not invincible. I know, if things like this were out here, they wouldn't, just be, skimmed over, but yeah, there's a decent amount of, stuff happens to dogs in this movie, so I'd just be, wary of that. But I'm sure, if you've seen as many horror movies as I have, you're kind of, ready for it at this point. But still. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It had me guessing here and there. The ending, is one at first it kind of gives you the feeling, oh, that wasn't very good. I'm not like satisfied. But it kind of fit with the rest of the style of the movie, really, because you have Kurt Russell, his character. He's saying, I love the setting of it, by the way, Antarctica. It just gave it better, it aided in like the tone of the film, I think, having a setting like that, them all being kind of secluded in with this killer cold out there. But yeah, you have Kurt Russell, sitting at the end, with a child's, guy they were, wondering about before, and they're both, wary of each other, but they pretty much just don't see the point where they're both just sitting there, about to, die of, the cold or whatever. So they share some, scotch or something, I think it is. The film, just cuts to credits right there. So yeah, I was fine with that. I'm actually, I kind of like that ending, actually. It just kind of provides a sense of ambiguity, but at the same time, like a decent little character moment between the two who were both on edge with each other during the movie. Although, I think you could say it's implied that either Kurt Russell or Childs is actually, the thing at this point. But, who knows? Who knows? It could have been one of the other guys that are wandering around out there that survived. Again, who knows? But, I guess there's like a video game or like some kind of game that came out in 2002 that was supposed to tie into the film. John Carpenter apparently said it is canon. And it has to do with a child. He apparently, ends up freezing to death. But Kurt Russell's character, McReady, he is, actually rescued by a team. So I don't know. But it could imply either, okay, Kurt Russell just survived, or he's actually a thing, and now the thing's getting to go to another, some kind of place of civilization, which isn't good either. So I don't know. So it definitely makes you think. It kind of makes you decide what's going on for yourself, and to a certain extent as well with that. But yeah, this is just a really, really good film. I kind of compare it to. Well, I was trying to kind of compare it to like Pumpkinhead. Obviously now the thing, it is a more popular film, especially at this point. But they both kind of flew under the radar during their initial time in the 80s for sure. Now they both have followings. The thing especially has a massive, kind of outlook on it. But I just bring up Pumpkinhead because that's another one I reviewed a little while ago that I liked quite a bit. But I would say this one is I actually prefer it quite a bit more. But yeah, if I had to rate the thing, I'm rating it probably. I had it at a B plus. I'm thinking pretty set on giving it a B plus. Actually, I'm that positive about it. I'm almost considering giving it like an A minus. I feel like I have to watch it again, but I'm definitely at least giving it an a B plus either way for sure. But yeah, this is a really, really nice horror flick. I really wish I had watched it years ago like everyone else. Just really great with the feel of it, the paranoia. It's really just excellently done with that. The score is nice. It's a lot more subtle than something like Halloween, but I like it. The effects are all great. The blood looks great. The makeup and everything, the creature and all its weird kind of forms, it looks really awesome. So yeah, let me guys think about The Thing, 1982. And I probably will be watching the remake, kind of prequel they did at some point. Just not sure when, but when I do, I'll probably do a video on it. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.